Update. I've just found out something about my male 26 girlfriend, female 26 of 3 years, and it's changed my whole view of her and our relationship. Original post. This is made worse by the fact that even though we've only been in a relationship for 3 years, we've known each other since we were 3 years old and been best friends our whole lives. I bumped into her ex-boyfriend on a night out, who she was with before me when we were in college. They dated for about a year and a half, and we were friendly enough, I guess, but I didn't see or talk to him once they split up. It was pretty awkward, but I told him I was in a relationship with her. He was surprised and responded by asking if she ever told me the reason that they had broken up. I remember her being upset and saying he had dumped her, but that's about it. He told me the real reason was that he caught her cheating on him with one of my other good friends. This has completely shocked me, that I'm not sure how to feel. I'm still good friends with the guy, and I never had any idea that this happened. The ex told me he started suspecting something was going on, and snooped on her phone expecting to find out it was me she was cheating with, but found all the messages and pictures/videos between her and my friend. I don't know how they could have kept this from me, and now all these things are going through my head. The ex said when he found out that they had been sleeping together for at least a month, but I have no idea how long it went on for. I know this happened before we got together, but the fact that they never told me and fact that she has cheated has really messed with me. I haven't been able to talk to her about it yet, but she knows something is up, so it's coming. Any advice on how I should approach this? Now for the top advice before reading the update. If it was anyone else she cheated with, I'd be leery, but fine. With a good friend of yours? And neither of them ever told you that they used to bump uglies on the regular? That's fishy AF. I know, that's why I'm kind of freaking out. I would tell her calmly that you bumped into the ex and tell her what he said. It's best to get the conversation out in the open. He could be lying for all you know and be trying to stir things between you. Tread carefully. If you go into the conversation too defensive, then I can see it won't go well, especially if the ex is lying. Just stay calm. Okay, thanks. Ask the friend first, more likely to get a direct answer. He might even have evidence still. This gets my vote. He's less likely to have a reason to lie, unless it's still going on. He probably hasn't said anything to Opie before now because he's been asked not to by the girlfriend. Question. If you are good friends with this other guy, I assume you all still hang out. Are you worried because your friend and her still see each other regularly? Are you concerned she may hook up with him again? Yes, I'm still good friends with him. I'd be lying if I said I'm not worried about them seeing each other regularly, but I think because of all the unknowns. If they had a relationship I know nothing about, how long did it go on for? And what feelings did they have for each other? If she cheated on her ex, she must have liked my friend enough to do that. I'd be most worried that she potentially had a relationship with one of your good friends, and neither of them brought it up. If they did hook up, it seems fishy they wouldn't raise it, and to me adds truth to her ex's story. Why else hide it? As others suggested, you have a valid reason to bring it up, running into her ex. Just do it calmly without accusing, and have an open mind. Hey Opie, an undisclosed prior relationship with one of your good friends is a big red flag if true. You need to have a conversation with your friend right away. Is it true? If so, why didn't he tell you? What was their timeline of interaction? How did it start and end? When you talk to her, ask her the same questions. Compare their answers. If they both deny, then it's possible that the ex is some psycho, but highly unlikely given that he ended the relationship with her. If she was a cheater, then that is red flag number 2. While people can grow, the issue with cheaters is generally their need for validation and lack of respect for relationships and their partner. She's already showing a respect issue through a non-disclosure. Don't be surprised if you find out they're still in contact with each other. Sorry for the situation, hoping for the best for you. Edit. Thanks everyone for your advice. Sorry I haven't been able to respond to everyone either, but I've read every comment. I've decided I'm just going to talk to her about it this weekend. Even if there is something she hasn't told me in the past, I don't think she will be able to lie to my face if I ask her about it. Now for the update. Just wanted to start by thanking everyone for their responses. And sorry haven't responded to everyone, but it's a rough week. I spoke to my girlfriend and she confirmed that they were sleeping together, and she did cheat on her ex with him. She said it wasn't a good period of her life and things weren't great in her relationship, but that's no excuse to do what she did. She never told anybody because she was embarrassed, and then when the prospect of us being together happened, she was afraid I would reject her if I knew. The worst part is that she admitted that about 5 or 6 months into our relationship after a night out, my friend started messaging her and things got inappropriate. By inappropriate, she meant that my friend tried to get her to invite him over. She said no, but they did talk about their time together, which was definitely messed up. The next morning, she messaged him and told him not to contact her again, and there has been nothing since. She said she's deleted everything, but she can probably recover the messages to prove she's telling the truth, but that some of the stuff will be hurtful for me to read. I don't know if I want to read that. So that's it. My friend is a complete piece of trash, and I'll be having nothing more to do with him. I don't know what I'm going to do about her. Our families are very close, and are both devastated as well. The whole thing is a freaking mess. For the sake of clarity, I take her up on reading those messages. Better to get the whole picture before deciding. This is the best response. She's only feeding him half-truths in the hopes he just takes her word for it. Guarantee she sends spicy photos, etc. too. She's trickle-truthing him. He better expose her and his friend and leave that circus behind. Opie doesn't want the truth. He wants a piece so he can continue the illusion that she's true blue. If he wanted the truth, he wouldn't have run straight to her and swallowed whatever she told him on the spot with zero proof. Personally, I wouldn't be able to trust a partner who cheated on her previous ex with someone who I considered a friend, then lied about the breakup with her previous ex, and for 3 years, kept that information hidden. What happens the next time she supposedly hits a rough patch in her life, or when things in your relationship aren't great in her view? Exactly. I don't believe the whole once a cheater, always a cheater thing. But if your previous relationship ended based on cheating, own it. Don't hide it. Hiding that stuff means that you never actually changed. Agreed. Context and getting the full story is the most important. If they were upfront with you about the past cheating, including the uncomfortable details, it bodes way better than them not telling you about it, and you finding out later. Read it. I think she is trying to set you up to not read it. Call the bluff. It will hurt, but you need all the facts before you make a decision. But at this point, I don't see how you can trust her at all. Or just quit the relationship. If there's no trust, what's the point? Opie, there are still plenty of single, kind, and attractive women out there your age. If you keep living like this, you'll end up a drug addict hiding from his own mind. Even if Opie is willing to work past her lying about cheating on her ex and lying to him all these years, she still let him continue to be friends with an a-hole that was trying to stab him in the back, to do him harm, all for the sake of covering her own back. Of course, she was afraid of how you would judge her. Of course, she was worried that you would break up with her. But instead of doing the right thing, she doubled down and made things much worse by creating new lies of omission, and again, all for the purpose of protecting herself over you. The drama and deceit of cheating on her ex didn't end with him. It continued with you. End it. It'll be painful, but not as painful as looking in her face every day and remembering the lengths she went to lie to you and protect herself over you. Last story. Found videos of my 23 male girlfriend, 21 female of 3 years, doing it with her guy best friend. Not really sure where to start. My girlfriend and I met at a fast food restaurant back before COVID happened. When COVID happened, we both spent the entirety of 2020 at home together, which allowed us to bond at a much faster rate than most, I guess. We were together 24/7, and we both loved it and never got sick of each other. She was my first love, and we both made it known early on to commit to each other and never go through each other's phones. We talked about our future plans and our intimate life and what we liked. We told each other everything. She went as far as to tell me how many people she had slept with in the past, and I witnessed her cut contact with any people in her past which tried to hit her up. She told me about this one guy friend and how they had slept together one time, but it was only a one-time thing. Okay, cool, but I made it known I didn't really feel comfortable with her keeping in contact with him. And she said she didn't want to if it was making me uncomfortable, so she started ignoring him. I even witnessed him hitting her up and her telling him to stop talking to her. Fast forward through an insane amount of good memories made, music listened to together, trips taken together, thousands of pictures between the two of us, lots and lots of heartfelt gifts from her to me, such as DIY boxes you see on TikTok of pictures and candy and stuff like that. She even spent hours coloring a picture and wrote a long message on the back about how she felt about me. And when she gave it to me, told me how each of the colors had a meaning. I cried tears of joy because the fact she put in so much work and thought into my gifts. It's hitting me hard because I never really went as far or as thoughtful as she did when it came to gifts. We never really fought at all. Of course, the occasional argument here and there, and some were worse than others, but I just knew she was going to be the one I married. We told each other countless times how we wanted to get married one day and grow old together and take care of each other until the end of our days. She seemed so genuinely happy, and I actually was genuinely happy. She was my everything. We were both super clingy, so the fact we could just lay there together and be content was perfect. I never caught her lying to me throughout the whole relationship. Ever. So the other night, I go over to her place and she lies about something small that I knew she was lying about. I committed to the argument because I knew she was lying. And then I started to wonder, if she lied about something small, then what else is she lying about? I immediately asked to see her phone. And when I loaded up Snapchat, I saw where a month ago she had received a message from the guy best friend. I asked, "You still talk to him?" She said, "No, not really. He always texts me, but I ignore him." I clicked on the profile and scrolled down to the saved pictures, and I was frozen. Pictures of her face and the previous of saved. I viewed all saved, and there it was. Recent spicy photos and sexy pictures from her to him. My body felt like a wave of vibrations covered me from head to toe. I was in complete shock. I couldn't believe it. I asked, "What are all these?" She said, "I'm so sorry, babe. I was drunk. I didn't mean to." I scrolled some more and found a recent video of him doing her from the back, and her just laying there in the bed after it was finished. I was traumatized. I didn't know what to say or do. I stayed calm throughout the whole thing, I guess, because of the shock. But she was bawling the whole time saying she didn't mean to, and she was drunk and this and that. She said she thought she was just going over there to smoke, but he started coming on to her and it just happened. I asked why she would even put herself in that situation to begin with, and why she didn't stop it when or before it was starting. I also kept asking why she kept in contact with him this whole time, and she just said because she thought he was a good friend to talk to whenever I wasn't around, which was rare since we were together so much. I didn't care anymore. We were done. I stayed for a while just trying to figure out why she would do this, and she never tried to blame it on me. She said it was her own fault, and that she ruined everything and that she feels like a terrible human being. Fast forward a couple days, the anxiety is starting to hit me extremely hard. All throughout the day, just constant anxiety. I've went through and hid all pictures of us. I put away the gift she gave me. I deleted so many songs that I'll probably never be able to listen to again because it triggers my anxiety. I have never had anxiety prior to this. I love this girl with everything I had, and she betrayed me through all of our happy and sad memories. I have called her a couple of times over the past couple of days just to try and get more clarity. And now she says it's multiple small things that added up to her doing it, such as me not hyping her up as much as I used to. I just want to call her and just hear her voice, and I don't know why. I feel empty and sad with no motivation to do anything. Not my business, my job, my YouTube channel, none of it. I don't know what to do because I loved her so much, but the fact she chose to keep in contact with him and even go as far as to hook up with him destroyed me. Now for the advice. Yeah, man, don't listen to her. She's just lying to save face. She cheated on you, and you should dump her and move on. I already dumped her. It's just the moving on part I'm stuck on. She's been my whole world for the past 3 years. I don't know why I want to even talk to her or even stay friends. I really don't know. Nah, just go full no contact. She betrayed your trust. You already know you can never trust her again, and that she has no problems with lying to your face. It shows she has no respect for other people, and she's a crappy person that you shouldn't want to affiliate yourself with. As far as moving on goes, it gets better with time. I recommend surrounding yourself with friends and family for the next few weeks to avoid spending time alone with your thoughts. Eventually, when you are in a future relationship, you will look back on this and think, thank God that happened and I was able to split up with her, because I would have never met this awesome person that I love so much. I know from experience. Sorry, my man. This sucks. It is perhaps the double-edged sword of knowing versus not knowing the details when you find out. My advice how to handle this is to treat it as you would a death in your family or friends. You are allowed to mourn and cry and rage and be empty because something you had and someone you loved is permanently dead. And so many of the things you've done and love are tied intimately to that experience. In truth, your brain handles breakups the same way as it does death, grieving along the same neutral pathways. And it's entirely normal, perhaps even important, to mourn this relationship. And part of mourning is letting go. Your relationship and a person you thought she was are dead and buried, and you have to treat them like they are. If you keep those threads going, the ghost of this relationship will eat you alive. What's important is that, like all momentous momentary trauma, it creates a permanent soreness. And right now, you feel it all over. It will be the first thing you think of when you wake up, and the last thing you think of before you go to sleep. The only goal is to let these feelings flow through you and to get to the point where it's the second thing in the morning and the second to last at night. Doing that is hard because wallowing is easier. It's important for you to force yourself to do things. To eat, to go to work, to hang out with friends, to do the things that made you happy even before she came along, and to see, slowly, if the things you found together are things you can enjoy by yourself. Doing so gives you a way out of the rut. Things to focus on that aren't mourning, that pull your eyes away from the images in your head. And in the hope of saving a fellow young man from the tragedy of young men, like being lonely and not feeling their feelings, be aware that when something hits that soreness again, it will hurt, possibly as bad as it does now. That soreness is going to be with you for the rest of your days. And that's okay, because it'll become just as much a part of you as every happy, awkward, or terrible story you've lived, or any scrape or bruise or break you've experienced. The benefit of time is that it expands the surface of your experiences and makes the sore spot smaller and smaller every day by comparison. Good luck. Long is the road and hard that out of darkness leads up to the light.